Hello, everybody! Live from the Xfinity Lounge, this is the PHLY Eagles pregame show presented by Bet365 and Ashley as the 8-2 Philadelphia Eagles first place in the NFC and to Dallas for a showdown in Kelly Green against the 4-5-1 Cowboys. I'm Bo Wulf. That's Jamie Lynch. We're going to hear from EJ Smith live in Arlington in just a few minutes. We'll check in with Fran Duffy for a breakdown of the defense, and we're going to hear from you, the sickos, in the chat, all that good stuff. Jamie, how are you feeling about Eagles-Cowboys, a matchup that, despite the records, will always have some juice? Eagles only favored by 3 in this game.
Yeah, a lot of hubbub out there about the Cowboys have turned a corner and this defense is different.
Cowboys!
Yeah, and like they're the hot team. Let's keep in mind that they played the awful Las Vegas Raiders on Monday, the putrid, the pathetic Raiders. I'll believe this defense. Like, it's not, yes, it has improved since the last time the Eagles played them, and Kenny Clark and Quinyon Williams up the middle has certainly changed some things in the running game for them. But, like, can we get off of this, like, Cowboys or this resurgent? It's a very good offense with a very bad defense.
Yeah.
Great time to see if the Eagles offense can get out of their own way and maybe calm the waters a little bit.
Well, yes, you think about that, saying that the Cowboys have a very good offense and a very good defense, and you flip it over to the Eagles, who have a great defense and what has been a very bad offense.
A mid to bad offense.
Over the course of the season, fine. Mid is exactly right. You know, hovering around somewhere in the 12 to 16 range, depending on what you look at. But over the past 2 weeks,
the kids may say,
that's exactly right. But over the past 2 weeks, they've been terrible.
Yeah.
And so this is another chance for us to be like, okay, can Jalen and A.J. Brown get on the same page? Can they get the running game unstuck and get some big plays from Saquon Barkley? Can they move DeVonta Smith around? Can they stop throwing hitches on every single play?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what they do. I'm curious.
And the Cowboys play a lot of zone coverage, so that's typically a game
Week
where
one,
DeVonta
every
thrives.
single snap was zone.
Yeah, so
one.
I would think it's more of a DeVonta game than it is an AJ game, but we'll see. I mean, this is up to Kevin Patullo, Jalen Hurts, and the wide receiver core to look competent, because if there's another week of this offense looking like hot doo-doo butter, then it's going to be a bigger problem. And I do think this is oddly pivotal, because I think this is an inflection point on the season where if you win this and the offense looks good, everybody goes, ah.
Well, this is another.
And if you don't, there might be some tight butts in the city of Philadelphia and beyond.
And a quick turnaround this week. Remember, the Eagles play on Friday, on Black Friday at home against the Bears. And then after that, they're going to have a long stretch where they have to wait until the following Monday to play the Chargers. But yes, listen, another chance for the offense to be like, okay, can you just shake them and be like, stop getting out of your own way? And then on the flip side, a different challenge for the defense, which playing the 2 best offenses it's played all year, had its 2 best defensive performances of the year, shut down the Lions last week. This is a slightly different challenge here with 2 very good wide receivers who can beat you in different ways. Let's see if Adoree Jackson holds up in this game.
Yeah, we will see. Dak's playing really good football this year so far. He gets rid of the ball pretty quickly. George Pickens has been one of the better offseason moves that happened. Now, the Eagles have Quinyon Mitchell, and as you said, completely confident about him and Cooper DeJean taking out of the game who they need to take out of the game. But what does Adoree Jackson do? And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going after him all day.
You would think so.
Yeah, yeah, like, why even look Quinyon's way?
No matter where he is.
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's one of the better receivers in the league, and he got silenced on Monday night, so much so that AJ and DeVonta were mocking him on the bench, being like, yeah, Quinyon's got that boy locked up. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'm not even considering throwing in Quinyon's way today.
Shout out to Marty Bum with the super chat, who says, Dallas sucks. That is all.
Thank you, Marty.
Marty. Very much in the spirit of the day and a very generous donation. We appreciate that. And as the other people are saying in the chat, hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, comment, all that good stuff. Helps us out. All right. Are we ready now to send it on the Xfinity mobile call-in line to Arlington, Texas, to bring in our Eagles insider, the man himself, EJ Smith. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? How we doing? Howdy, as the locals would say.
And a howdy to you, EJ. How have your travels been? Did you ride a horse over to the stadium? What's going on?
I did think about I guess it wouldn't have been received well from the audience if I had a Cowboys hat, but Cowboys hat, maybe
Save a horse.
maybe next
EJ,
year.
ride a cowboy.
No, I'm no selling that one. Arlington's been good. Dallas has been good. We stay in Fort Worth. Had a nice dinner with some former colleagues, and I'm excited for the game.
What'd you go with? What kind of fare?
It was a Mexican place. The best guacamole I've ever had in my life. It was unbelievable.
Oh, I think I've been to that place.
Yeah. Have a place in Fort Worth that has great guacamole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Olivia.
Happy birthday to Olivia. Our girl, Olivia Reiner. Yeah.
How are those Kelly Greens looking on the field? EJ, first time
They
the
look
Eagles are
good.
wearing them at home. I mean, on the road, not at home.
Yeah. No, they look good. I think I like the stadium. I know that it gets kind of a bad rap, especially
Great stadium.
From Eagles fans. But yeah, just like the aesthetic today will be a good one.
I have one problem with it, and it's beautiful
The
and nice and state of the art. Yeah. The screen is too big that when you sit in the stands and watch it, you find yourself watching the TV screen as opposed to the field, and I don't think that's a good thing.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I can appreciate that as someone who likes to see, certain things on the replay. But yeah, no, it is more of like you sit in the nosebleeds, you end up watching the screen. I agree.
And
then
the
sun is a real thing that they have to deal with in the stadium. So not a perfect stadium, but I do generally like the stadium.
Yeah, it's
if
nice.
there are worse stadiums, looking at you, Commanders, that we have to go to every year.
It's barely even a stadium.
Looking at you, Josh Harris.
One of the worst places in the world. Let's talk about this game here, EJ. As the inactives are out, nothing big here for the Eagles. Sam Howell is the third quarterback. Mac McWilliams, AJ Dillon is down. Ty Robinson and Lane Johnson, who the Eagles chose not to put on injured reserve. What did you make of that decision, given the timetable that we've heard is most likely 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, so I think the initial timetable was 4 to 6 weeks, but I saw my former colleague Jeff McClain reported that Lane's going to try and return from this without getting the surgery to repair this injury. So, I guess there is now a chance that he wouldn't have missed that 4-week window that we initially expected. I know Cuz talked earlier in the week about the fact that they had to let the swelling go down to really get a sense of how bad the injury was. So, obviously Lane Johnson's toughness is unquestioned at this point, and I think that this is setting up for him to make maybe a more speedy return from a serious injury than we expected.
Why? Let him get right. I don't understand.
This has been what they've done all year with these guys. They did it with Landon and they did it with Cam as well. They get those guys back in the lineup as quickly as they can, even if it is maybe not the best thing for them playing at being 100%. I mean, with the Liz Frank, though, if he's not going to get the surgery, then I sort of understand it. It's like once he's ready, he's ready. It's not like it's going to be 100% until after the season.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. To me, it's just you don't need
him. At this
point, you probably don't need him until the playoffs. But you keep your options open. I guess that's worth it. And there's nobody else that they need to get up to the roster just this moment. Although they will have to make a decision this week on your boy Willie Lampkin, EJ. All right, let's focus on the offense here because we know there aren't a ton of lineup questions here now that things have settled in. Adoree Jackson's going to start. Nakobe Dean's probably going to play a little bit more at linebacker. And Fred Johnson's going to get the start at right tackle here. So how do you expect Fred Johnson to fare against this Cowboys front that is better up the middle than it is on the edge in terms of pass rush?
Yeah, I was going to say there's not necessarily that marquee matchup for Fred Johnson this week, and he's fared well in marquee matchups in the past, against Trey Hendrickson stands out from last season. He talked earlier this week about this being an opportunity for him to make a name for himself. It seemed like last year when he came into the lineup, he said this earlier this week, that he felt like, he was just waiting for Jordan Mailata to return to the lineup. He kind of felt like the backup. In this year, I think he knows that this is an opportunity for him to prove that he's a starter in this league. He's obviously played at a high level for the Eagles in the past. So, I think it'll be really interesting to see how he looks out there, because he has played, maybe not starter level for the Eagles, but starter level across the league for the Eagles in a pinch before. Obviously, he's going to be playing on the right side now. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how he looks. He definitely is understanding of what this opportunity means for the prospects of his career.
EJ, a little bit of a different Dallas defense since the last time they saw him with the addition Quinyon Williams and Logan Wilson. Anyway, running up the gut today, is there going to be an emphasis on getting the running game going a little bit more to the outside in your guess today?
So I'm glad you asked me about this because, like, I was thinking, I knew we were going to talk offense, and I was thinking, like, what's a reason for optimism for tonight, for this evening? What could unlock the Eagles' offense after the last 2 weeks? And the thing that stands out to me is that the Cowboys' defense ranks dead last in rushing success rate. Success rate against the run, and we know that this is how the Eagles want to play. This has been consistent for the last few years now that if they can stay on schedule in the run game, all of a sudden the pass game gets set up off of it. And it gives Nick Sirianni the turnover avoidance that he prioritizes, and it starts to unlock things in the passing game for Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, DeVonta Smith, etc. So to me, that's the formula. If you told me that the Eagles put up 31, 34 points against this Cowboys defense, my guess is it would start with Saquon Barkley. It would start with even Tank Bigsby, outside runs like you mentioned, breaking off a couple explosives that way, and then building the play action game off of it, or at least building the passing game off of being on schedule more often. That's been a big issue for the Eagles offense this year. I think this is a game where you could see that happen. I think it would require fewer self-inflicted wounds. It require the run game to look in a way it really hasn't looked for most of this season. But I did think it was like mildly encouraging when you look at that rushing success rate chart from those defenses. The Giants are the next worst team. So the one team that the Eagles really had a lot of success on the ground against. So if you told me it went well, that would be my guesses on how it would go well.
Okay, that's the if and the could and the optimist. What do you expect on offense in this game? And also, how do you expect them to approach a game plan in attacking the Cowboys defense?
So I also have a negative or a pessimist view on how things could go today. And I think that one is a little bit more rooted in what we have seen from the Eagles offense this season more consistently. And it's what Jamie mentioned at the top of the show. The Cowboys rank 5th in zone coverage usage. You mentioned, Bo, that they played almost exclusively zone against the Eagles in the opener. And that has been the bane of the Eagles passing game's existence. And especially given what we saw against the Lions, where it was like they clearly wanted to just like pare this offense down to the bare bones and play simply in the passing game. I don't have confidence that this Eagles offense is going to just go out there and tear apart a zone coverage if it is a shootout, if it's a type of game where they need to drop back and really rely on the drop back passing game. So I'd probably fall somewhere in between those two. I wouldn't consider myself an optimist or a pessimist, maybe a realist. So I would say if I had to, I don't think I've really put a prediction down, a legitimate prediction. I probably would go Eagles like 24, Cowboys 20. And I don't feel great about it. I could see this game being a shootout. I just don't see this Eagles offense winning a shootout right now with the way that they're playing.
EJ, who has the bigger day if you had to guess? DeVonta, the zone beater, or AJ? And do they kind of not force him, but try to direct things his way a little bit?
Yeah, I would probably go DeVonta. I mean, even just beyond the zone coverage, his production against zone versus AJ's against man. I just feel like if you had to bet on one of those guys having a big day right now, it would be DeVonta, the way that they've played for the last month and change. So it's crazy that's where we're at. But Bo's been banging the drum for this. Maybe this is the DeVonta Smith game. Maybe he is the one to kind of drag them out of this.
I don't care who gets it as long as it gets going.
as long as somebody gets it, right?
You want any more takes? Any more goes at the prediction?
No, Fran really he came after me for my multiple predictions, and
you nailed one of them.
Did he have a point? Maybe he had a point. He might have been right. It's a little bit in bad faith. I've been thinking a lot about the integrity of my swooper entries, and the integrity of the game. So I'm going to stick with the one prediction. I do have some more notes from AT&T Stadium for you. We saw Tom Brady catching up with Howie Roseman, Dom DeSandro, and Kevin Patullo pregame. Now, Bo, how many weeks are we away from the Eagles-Raiders game?
4.
Can you remind
that would
us?
be the game that Lane could come back from.
Okay, so I mean, isn't that kind of weird?
I hate the whole thing. I think
they're
stinks.
talking, game plan stuff.
I still just hate it optically.
Yeah, you never know.
Talking strawberries.
And there is a heavy strawberry
avocado ice cream.
Cloning dogs. There's a heavy Eagles representation here, probably the heaviest I've seen, at least in the early fan base that's been here. There have been some Eagles chants. So I would expect this to be more of a split than we've seen in years past. I don't know. I mean, it's probably Cowboys apathy playing into that a little bit, and obviously Eagles fans being very excited. And honestly, it's a good trip down here. It's a good place to spend a weekend. I've been enjoying my time. I hung out with Sean Syed earlier today. That was nice.
Here's my question for you, AJ. My last one.
Uh-oh.
Given that conversation, if you had to pick who you think Howie Roseman, if he could only clone one person, who would he want to clone?
It's a good question. And does he get the younger version of them, or are they the same
He gets
age?
them. He gets them as they are.
I was gonna say Lane Johnson.
Yeah, that was my
It's more of a-
first
It's
answer.
more of a
Probably.
multiplicity situation. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You're not getting the younger version.
Yeah, you'd probably go Jalen Carter.
Hmm.
I think Quinyon. Quinyon's the
That's
answer.
okay. I was
It's
just
Quinyon.
gonna push for my boy there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Quinyon's your answer. If you could get a younger version, if you get like a 22-year-old version, like Tom Brady's dog, like I imagine he got the puppy version
Right.
I
of
would
the dog.
hope, yeah.
Then you would go Lane. I think you'd go Lane Johnson with that one.
I think you guys are close, but I feel pretty confident that the correct answer for who he would clone is himself.
That's good work by you. That's very true. Quick one for you guys. Is the Giants-Lions game reframing the way that you viewed the Eagles win last week? I just heard like an eruption in the press box. I imagine
Yeah,
something
not
just happened
really.
with that game.
Jameis is being electric.
Jameis is such a chaos agent that I can't put
He
too
is
much.
that's a perfect description for it. The touchdown catch that he had where he has to break a
Ridiculous.
tackle to get into the end zone. Yeah, it's like just crazy.
So EJ, the professor wants to know, and we have some delightful food in the studio here from Mission Barbecue, and I think we might have some mac and cheese and some collards and green beans out there. We did see Jimmy Kempski's food box spread photo. Mac and cheese looked pretty solid down there. I don't think it's as good as Mission Barbecue's, but how's the spread today? Did you have the mac and cheese?
This is my hottest take.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
The mac and cheese here is majorly overrated.
he doesn't like breadcrumbs on his mac and cheese.
I don't like breadcrumbs in my mac and cheese. I also don't like a wet mac and cheese. I like a mac and cheese
It's
that you
gooey.
kind of mix.
I mean,
I get
we
that. I like
have
mac and cheese,
now
it's like
had
you
several
pull it out.
months
It's like a
of
casserole.
understanding that EJ has terrible food takes.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, no
I don't
breadcrumbs.
have terrible
What?
food takes.
Some texture?
Hey, I'm not a bread. If you have a crispy top on the mac and cheese, you don't need the breadcrumbs.
All right, EJ.
It's good. It's just not. It's not for me. It's not my mac and cheese.
All
That's
right.
okay. That's fine. EJ, we will talk to you in the post-game show. Enjoy the game. Thank you for joining us on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
And with
See you,
that,
Jay.
we send it to break. On the other side, we're going to check in with Fran Duffy to learn about the defense. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365 pioneered live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Take a look at the Sunday Night Football $365,000 jackpot, where you place a $10 bet on the first touchdown score and get a split of all $365,000 in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. Payable regardless of if their first touchdown scorer bet wins or loses. The Sunday Night Jackpot. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The other day, I went over to a friend's place. His name was Jerry. He's an older fella. He was pumped to watch some football, but his setup was a total disaster. He was trying to, he claimed he was a football fan, but I don't think this guy cared about winning at all. His setup was lagging, buffering. He had to switch between apps. It was a total disaster. And if you call yourself a football fan, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games, your favorite team, live stats, all right there with the click of a button. It's next level. It's the perfect fan flex. All the action right there in your living room, plus the best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like you're in Jerry's world down in Dallas. Sometimes you get the quad box going with 4 games because why not? The live stats on the side screen are tremendous. So next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV boxes.
All right, back on the PHLY Eagles Pregame show presented by Bet365 and Ashley, and we head back now on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line and check in with the Duff Man. Fran, how are you?
Doing great, guys. I've been going back and forth with EJ since he jumped off. The mac and cheese take, it really made no sense because you don't like breadcrumbs, but then also you don't like the wet mac and cheese. You don't like mac and cheese. Like there's two opposites. Which side do you like?
Well, he's going. What EJ wants is a hard baked mac and cheese. You know what I mean? Like he wants a creamy, crispy top, but a dense underneath. He doesn't want the goo.
Well, I think the goo goes with the dense, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like a heavier cheese.
I don't agree with him.
More binding.
He's looking for like bigger noodles. It's more clumpy. You know, there's no run to it.
He has since I jumped on, he has since sent me a picture, apparently of Julia's mac and cheese, and I will say, it looks phenomenal. So
I saw Jimmy's picture.
That's what he's working with.
It did look a little wet down there. That looked like some sloppy mac and cheese.
It's good though. It is good.
I've had it. It's fine. It's stadium fine.
What's your spread over there at the house today?
Yeah, what's the Duff Man got going?
I did a little chili. So we got some chili going.
Nice.
Some nachos, some chili, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else I can pick around downstairs.
All right, we talked about the matchup of the mediocre / bad units in this game. Let's talk about the good groups. Eagles defense against Cowboys offense, and as you astutely pointed out, that Week 1 game, boy, the Cowboys saw a much different defensive line in that game than they're going to say today.
No question. Obviously, we all remember Spitgate with Jalen Carter. So he's ejected before the first snap on defense. So you get Jalen Carter, you have Jalylan Phillips, Moro Ojomo. You know, we talked about that, throughout the first month of the season or so, that, while he wasn't playing poorly, was not what we had expected coming into the season. Obviously, that has changed since that point. He's playing at a very high level right now. So to me, the biggest change on this side of the football is that this Eagles defensive front just has so much more teeth. I would imagine that Jalen Carter is going to come into this with a little bit of extra pep in his step after that Week 1 battle. So just being able to see Jalen Carter, you got a healthy Nolan Smith, you got BG back in the fold. You know that he's going to be bringing the juice for this Dallas game. So I think when you look at this defensive front, to me, that is the big X factor here in this football game.
So, Fran, Javonte Williams, kind of the, I guess, surprise unsung hero of the Cowboys this year. What does that Eagles defensive line have to look forward to with Javonte here today?
Yeah, it's a smash mouth style of football. It's a lot of gap scheme runs. They're going to mix things up in terms of the way that they're going to attack you tactically. But again, it's mostly gap scheme, and with gap scheme runs, again, typically, not all of them, but typically you're going to get a lot of pulling linemen. And what that means for not just the defensive front, but also for the linebackers as well, is you have to read your keys. You have to have some block recognition. You got to make sure that you hold your ground against some of those double teams, because typically, all right, you're going to get a double team at the point of attack with a puller coming from the opposite side. And so if you are Moro Ojomo and the double team's coming your way, you got to be able to hold your ground against the double team. Don't let them climb up to the linebacker's lap. And then if you are Zack, Baun, Nakobe, Jihad Campbell, you've got to read and react. You've got to key and diagnose. So just being able to play through blocks, get downhill. Don't let Javonte Williams get going. He's been really good through contact, forcing missed tackles. So just being able to get those guys going downhill, that's going to be imperative in this football game.
What is your expectation for the chess match between CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, their deployment against Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Adoree Jackson? How do you expect, Brian Schottenheimer to move CeeDee Lamb around, as you pointed out during the week? We remember from the first game this season where Quinyon is on Pickens at first, and then CeeDee Lamb is killing them, so they switch off. How do you sort of think that that's going to play out today?
Yeah, I think really, honestly, both sides have kind of leveled out in terms of the way that they've gotten comfortable. There was a little bit of a feeling out period. You've got obviously new personnel for the Eagles defense, and you've got a new coaching staff with a new receiver for the Cowboys offense. And since that point, what we've seen now is that the Cowboys have gotten more comfortable with moving Pickens around. He's still predominantly going to be the boundary receiver. He's going to be that traditional X. So he's going to line up to the solo side. They'll move him around at times. But what that does is now that gives Dallas the freedom to be able to move CeeDee Lamb around. So my guess is that we'll probably see Quinyon Mitchell playing to the boundary side. That's what he's done over these last few weeks. So you'll get Quinyon Mitchell most often going up against Pickens, and then that's going to leave Adoree Jackson and Cooper DeJean going up against CeeDee Lamb, depending on if he's inside or outside. And so that would be how I would expect things to look, at least in the first half. Obviously, we know it's possible that Vic Fangio may try and throw us a curveball and see something a little bit different there. We know it's going to be primarily zone coverage anyway, but my guess is that most of those matchups, especially early on, will be Quinyon Mitchell with George Pickens, and then you've got the group, as there could be a total group effort trying to take away CeeDee Lamb.
Before we flip to the other side and talk about the Eagles offense, Fran, linebackers. Is this more of a Nakobe Dean heavy type of day? Is this an even split with him and Jihad? How do you see that kind of getting deployed today?
I can't imagine. I think the toothpaste is out of the bottle at this point, or out of the tube. I don't think that you're going to be seeing them cut down Nakobe Dean snaps just because, I mean, with the way that he's playing, there's no reason to. So my guess is that it'll be pretty similar to the rotation we saw a week ago, where basically it was 3 series for Nakobe, 1 series for Jihad. I think it'll be something similar to that here today.
Do you agree with the perception that Dak is as good pre-snap as any quarterback in the league? And if we're watching from the couch today, what are some things that we can sort of point to see how that matchup is playing out?
I mean, I'm hoping that we can limit the amount of, oh, here we go. Like, I hope, hopefully we don't have to hear all about that throughout the course of the afternoon. But, Dak is playing extremely well. Yeah, he's playing at one of the highest levels we've seen from him over the course of his career. Is he still prone to throw you a couple? He absolutely can. And I think that that's going to be the big thing you're going to try and see from Vic Fangio, is you're trying to throw him some curveballs, see if you can pressure him. That offensive line is pretty good. They've got talent certainly up front. They're healthier now than what we've seen from them over the course of this season. So I think when you look at them, they're the matchups to me that you would try and attack if you're the Eagles is I would try and attack that center, Cooper Beebe. They're really stout at the 2 guard spots. I think that the Eagle Jaelan Phillips going up against Terrence Steele at right tackle, I think that's a winnable matchup. I think you could beat Tyler Guyton, the left tackle, with power. All these guys have talent, a lot of high draft picks with this group, but I think that it can be, look, it's good on good. So if the Eagles are able to win some of those matchups, you pressure Dak. Like he can throw you a couple. He's going to take chances. He's going to try and fit it into tight windows. He made some just on the money throws back in that week 1 game, and he's capable of doing that. He could put it where he wants to, but when you are going to be kind of a risk taker and you're going to say, all right, we're going to try and fit into a tight window, there's opportunity there as a defense. And so it will be incumbent upon the back 7 to try and take advantage of any of those opportunities.
Fran, first, let me just note, that's a beautiful hoodie. I might know some places where somebody could get that at allphly.com and just go to the merch store. Secondly, let's flip it.
Good week to shop.
Yeah, good week to shop.
Right.
Just saying.
I will say, like, I like a lot of our swag, a lot of the stuff. To me, like, the hoodies are top notch. They are some of my favorite things that I own.
They look very comfortable. All right, on the other side of the ball, the Cowboys implore a lot of zone coverage, defensive fronts. I think Bo said it was every single snap in the week 1 matchup. That screams to me a DeVonta Smith day rather than an A.J. Brown type of day. How do you see the passing game attacking this Dallas defense today?
The matchups are there, though, is the thing. They play so much cover 3, cover 2, a lot of these zone coverages. At the end of the day, like, if it's A.J. Brown one-on-one, whether it's man or zone, going up against Kaiir Elam, like, I want A.J. Brown, I like that matchup, right? So I think, to me, if it's going to be like one of those, oh, well, there's a safety over top of A.J. Brown, like, to me, those excuses don't carry any water. I think when you look at the way that teams are able to attack opposing defenses, like in today's NFL, in any NFL, like any level of football, you could beat cover 2, you could beat cover 3, you could beat cover 4. You could do it with any of these receivers. So to me, I think there's opportunity for both A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. But it's roll the dice. I don't know what to expect. We were just downstairs at lunch talking through the game. Myself and my wife, and my son, and we're like, oh, what they are asking, what should we expect? Is it going to be more exciting than last week's game? Because the offense was very boring to watch this past Sunday night. And I was like, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, Fran. Gotta get a prediction out of you before we let you go. Where are you going in this game?
I think this one is not, I don't want to say high scoring, because I think the Eagles defense is too good for high scoring, but I do expect that both teams are going to be able to put points on the board. So to me, I'm going to go Eagles 27, say Cowboys 21. Eagles 27, Cowboys 21.
27-21. All right. The Duffman is on the record. We will talk to you on the post-game show, my friend. Enjoy the afternoon.
See you guys.
See you, Fran.
All right. let's now get to our best bets presented by our friends at Bet365. Jamie, do you want to go first, or do you want to give us the Bet365 parlay? Do we have that?
Yeah, the same game parlay is up on Bet365. A little bit of a spicy one.
Still got 10 minutes to get in on the action.
You do. Head to Bet365. Use that code PHLY365 at sign up for new users. Same game parlay. Eagles win. DeVonta Smith over 70 yards. And here's the one that spices it up a little bit. Dak throws a pick.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm feeling a Zack Baun. That's
okay.
I always play that
Middle of the field, yeah.
Yeah, like I always ask myself the question and then I just go with the gut answer. I'm feeling Zack Baun there. For my bets today, I think the Eagles are going to be forced to throw the ball because I don't think you can expect this defense to have another 9-point performance versus a competent offense. I think you're going to have to score into the 20s today, probably in the high 20s. So for that reason, I think Jalen Hurts gets it going a little bit through the air today. I'm going over 250 passing yards.
Ooh.
A little
Plus
spicy.
210. I
Plus
like that.
210 on this one. Everything I did was plus money today. So I think if Jalen gets it going, therefore DeVonta also gets it going.
Sure.
I have him over 70 receiving yards. And then I'm closing it out. I'm just, life's a circle, completing it. DeVonta receiving touchdown, which is plus 175.
Okay. I like
So
that.
if Jalen and DeVonta connect today on a big play, I'm pretty much covered.
All right, I'm going to give you one. I feel so good
Oh,
about this bet. This is one of my bets of the year.
wow.
It's minus 110, so you're not getting a ton of odds. But Tank Bigsby over 13.5 rushing yards.
I actually agree with you.
I love
Yeah, that's pretty good.
this bet. Now, you think about the way that Tank wins. He's better on the outside.
Good point.
This is where the Cowboys defense in particular struggles against the run. I love Tank Bigsby.
It feels
Over
like he's
13.5
averaging
rushing
like
yards.
8 yards a carry as it is.
Yeah, I think he had 8 rushing yards last week, so it's no gimme, but I love that bet. I'm going CeeDee Lamb. He always kills the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to build a passing game around him, finding out ways to get him on matchups. So I'm taking the CeeDee Lamb over on receiving yards, which is I believe 73.5. I believe that's minus 110. And then I'm calling out a sack for plus 210 odds. I think the odds Nolan Smith is still a little bit on a pitch count.
Sure.
I think that comes off a little bit today. He plays more like 60% of the snaps, 50% of the snaps or so, and I think he can get after those tackles. So I'm getting a Nolan Smith sack
Love it.
of Dak Prescott in this game, plus 210.
Love it. Yeah, I'm excited to see the defensive line again.
But really, it's all about the Tank one.
yeah, 13.
I am all in on Tank Bigsby over 13.
I mean, I would think he gets 4 carries at least.
Yeah, why not?
And if he gets 4 carries, he's going to get 14 yards. Easy peasy.
I'm betting our studio space on Tank Bigsby over 13.5 yards. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Super chat.
Yeah, we got another.
Another super chat here in the kickoff show from Entrepreneur 2159 says, Nick doesn't have the creative mental capacity to create a dynamic offense. Kevin Patullo doesn't have the experience. What about Scott Loeffler, the quarterback's coach, or are we cooked this year? Of course, Loeffler was
Bowling
the Bowling
Green?
Green head coach, has called plays before. There's a possibility that could be where they would go if they were to make a change, but I'm not willing to accept cooked.
No.
I think there's still
It's salvageable.
yes.
There's probably a lot of contributing factors to it. Part of it's probably offensive line play. Part of it's probably quarterback. Part of it's probably Patullo year one. Part of it's probably this.
Of course.
And there's a lot of contributing factors, but it doesn't mean it's over. I mean, when you have DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown, I will never accept the fact that like can't work.
Totally
There's
agree.
always going to be a way to figure this out. So until we move on, I'm always going to have believe and hope that they can figure this out.
If they can do it today.
I mean, it's a good opportunity to do it.
You would think so.
Yeah,
You would think so.
you would think.
3-point line does bother me a little bit, worries me a little bit. How do you see it playing out?
I mean, I think this is a tougher team than they saw in week one. I think Dak Prescott's playing really good football. And if they allow him to get the ball out in under 2.5 seconds all day long, he's probably going to pick them apart as much as you can pick apart this Eagles defense. So I think they got to get in his face, and I think they got to hit him. I'm hoping Jalen Carter comes out pissed off after missing the first one and destroys
Pissed
that
off
middle.
better than spit on.
Yeah, I hope he destroys the middle of the pocket and Dak is forced outside and scrambling and moving and, You know, I think that if the Eagles win today, I think the defensive line has to have a major impact, which you can say every week. It's kind of a blah statement. But
It's true, though.
But
they've been awesome the last 2 weeks.
And I have a lot of confidence that they can do that. My boy Quinyon's going to keep somebody in check. I'm a little worried about Adoree Jackson. I cannot lie. George Pickens is killing it this year. That being said, I mean, I'm assuming this is kind of going right into predictions here, bro?
Yes.
I'm not going to pick against the Eagles until they give me a reason to. And they're a winner. And this is a classic kind of, I could see them losing situation on the road in Dallas. But, like, the media is all over the Cowboys. Everybody's overinflating this Raiders loss. Screw the Cowboys. Birds win. I'm going 27-23. Birds take it.
Okay. You and Fran both on 27 for the Birds.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
guess so. I don't see them scoring in the 30s, do you?
No, I don't see them scoring in the 30s. A little bit worried about this game.
Yeah, it does
For
feel
the
like
Eagles.
it's a spot.
It's hard to bet against the defense. The defense has been so good, but there's so much bubbling under the surface about the offense. Do they need something to fully crater in a loss in service of them really getting back to, okay, let's stop being so conservative. Let's dial some stuff up. I think there's a potential case to be made for that. We're going clean sweep on a 3-point spread. That's why I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys
Oh,
to
boo.
win this game 23-13. And I am also
13.
predicting the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game 28-13. The defense really is too good for the Cowboys.
You want a third take?
I believe this game is going to end in a tie,
I didn't know you could do that.
23-23.
But your first take, I assume, is 13 points?
I mean,
well, people
really,
are going to lose their damn minds.
truly deep down, I can't bet against the defense.
They're
can't.
too good right now.
Yeah. So I think the Eagles, I do think the Eagles are going to squeak one out, and it's going to be exactly like we've seen all season long. They're going to win, and we're all going to be pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, this defense is great right now. And if they go out there and show it for a third straight week, there's going to be a lot of excitement in town. We don't need the offense to look like the greatest show on turf. Just look competent. And if you have a freaking situation with the game on the line today in your own territory and a punt's going to flip the field, trust your freaking defense and punt the ball away, Nick.
I don't always agree with that.
But if you're at your own 28-yard line, and it's like, and the Lions are they're stopping the tush push better than anybody has done in 3 years.
Yeah, they're not the Cowboys.
Punt the Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark are big.
Yeah, please.
Punt the ball, flip the field.
All depends. All right. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll talk to you at halftime right here on PHLY. And then, of course, the post-game show presented by Bet365 and Ashley with Super Bowl champion Vinny Curry. Eagles Cowboys. Buckle up. And as always, we love you.
Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.